Casey. I'm a women's nutrition and fitness expert. I help women get fit, lose fat, and gain confidence. Today, since we are in the midst of the holiday season, I wanted to chat with you just a little bit about stress eating, because I know that this is a very stressful time for a lot of you. There's a lot more on your to-do list. There's a lot more places to go, things to do, and we tend to just increase our stress level just a little bit during this busy holiday season. So let's talk about ways to identify stress eating. So what is stress eating? So typically with stress eating, there's four things that are, four things that we can look at that would generally indicate stress type eating. Number one is hunger. Hunger tends to come on very suddenly and it feels very urgent. Okay, so if we're just kind of all of a sudden, I need to eat and I want to eat urgently, that's usually an indicator that there may be some stress eating going on. It's also going to be generally paired with a particular emotion. So maybe it's anger, maybe it's sadness, maybe it's guilt, whatever that emotion might be. If you're engaging in stress eating, you're going to really be having that paired with a particular emotion typically. Number three, how to identify stress eating is eating without awareness. Okay, so we lose all track of awareness, mindfulness, surrounded in this situation of stress eating. We have maybe no idea how much we've consumed, or to what extent of our consumption has been, just without regards to awareness of mindfulness related to our food intake. And then number four, often we see stress eating associated with feelings of guilt or shame afterwards. Okay, so we engage in this behavior, we're not aware of how much we're eating, and then not only do we maybe feel physically sick because of how much we've eaten, we also feel these negative emotions related, such as guilt, shame. I shouldn't have shouldn't have done that, and now I feel bad about myself because I've engaged in these behaviors. So sudden, number one is it comes on very suddenly, very urgently, needing to eat, wanting to eat. Hunger is paired with a particular emotion without regard to the awareness of what I'm eating. That's number three. And then these feelings of guilt and shame associated. So if you are someone who experiences this regularly, here are some ways that you can actually identify some patterns that are setting you up for this behavior, and perhaps take steps to prevent it or decrease it. So number one is thinking about setting yourself up in your environment to be successful with your healthy eating habits. So perhaps it is, if you're working in an office, you don't have a candy dish full of chocolate candy sitting on your desk, because if you tend to get stressed at work, you may just go right for that candy dish. So remove that temptation. Another way to set yourself up for success in your environment is to have healthy foods on hand and also have a plan in place to make sure that you're fueling well throughout the day. So number one, you're not getting too hungry. And number two, if you're fueling up on high protein foods early in the day, we tend to have less cravings for these high sugar, high fat foods later in the day. So thinking about setting yourself up for good success, having a plan, and creating an environment that is going to help support your healthy decisions. Number two, stop and check yourself. Okay, so when you are having these intense feelings of wanting to eat urgently or going to go grab some really high fat, high sugar foods, check yourself just momentarily and go ahead and ask yourself, am I hungry? Okay, seems like a very simple question, but am I hungry? Am I physically hungry? And around that, the other question is, what emotions am I feeling? So checking yourself, am I hungry? And also thinking about, how am I feeling emotionally, and how those two could be connected. Because often if we're feeling stressed, we're feeling inadequate, we're feeling guilt, we're feeling anger or frustration, just the hustle and the bustle. I'm standing in the checkout line and I just need to get to my son's basketball game because everything is so busy and I'm rushing so much. Check myself. Do I want to grab those chocolate covered peanuts that are at the checkout line? Am I really hungry? And what emotion am I feeling right now? My first answer is no, I'm not really hungry. And number two, my feeling is, my emotion is I'm feeling stressed. I'm feeling rushed because I have somewhere else to be and so many things on my to-do list. Okay, so go ahead and check yourself. That's huge. Number three, super important. We can't reduce and eliminate all stress in our lives, of course, but finding ways to try to minimize your stress, okay? Maybe it is not taking on a million different activities or projects during this already busy time of year. Maybe it's saying no to some social invitations that you may have had, just to kind of keep your schedule a little bit lighter during this holiday season. Maybe it's saying no to the office company, coworker exchange. One more present to buy adds a little bit more stress to your list. So, kind of be picky and choosy about your social engagements and what you're going to partake in this holiday season. You don't have to do everything. Pick and choose some things that are really important to you, just to kind of help keep your schedule open, which might help eliminate a little bit of stress in your life. And then, of course, finding healthy ways to deal with your stress is huge, because of course we can't eliminate all stress in our lives. If we can try to minimize it, that's great, but finding other ways in those stressful situations to manage your stress, such as perhaps deep breathing, putting on some uplifting music. Maybe it is going for a 5 to 10 minute quick walk in the office instead of going right to your coworker's candy dish, okay? Regular physical activity can definitely help keep your stress minimized. So engaging in, your exercise earlier in the day or when you get home from work can really help you manage that stress as well. So the 3 ways that you can help reduce your stress eating over the busy holiday season is setting yourself up for success in your environment. Number 2, checking yourself, both am I hungry and what are the emotions related to how I'm feeling at this moment. And number 3, find ways to minimize your stress and manage your stress in healthy ways. So I hope you found that helpful. I hope you can do all of those things during this holiday season to help set yourself up for good success in the future. If you need any support, I'm happy to help you. You can reach out to me on my website, inspirehw.com.